Yeah, so today we'll continue on for what we were discussing last week. And I'd like to start just with a different twist to it. The shaila is, what bracha do you make on borscht? Borscht, we know, is you're cooking beets, and you normally don't drink it with the borscht in it. You take out the borscht. Some people would eat the beet salad, make it as a beet salad. Some people won't. Right? So if so, what bracha are you making on borscht? Michael covered that tire, you'd like that. Okay. So again, so the shaila is by borscht, I'm cooking it, and we know cooking, HBrachos. What bracha do you make? That we know the Gemara says you make adama. So if so, borscht, you should make adama. You ever saw someone making a borscht adama? Rabbi Lou, when you drink borscht? No? Bertie, you drink borscht?
Yes, I drink borscht, and I would take an adama. Because I have a strong. The only question was we just raised it in Shabru because there's some vinegar added, so maybe it would change it to a shackle, but I don't think so. To me, it's beets.
Okay, so pashtus, you would be right, and the Mishabru and Reish Ches, Ches, and Nid Beis over there, mashma borscht is a regular vegetable that you are cooking in water, and we know HBrachos, like we said, that's a mafurish Gemara, that you'll make a hadama. Now, that's what's going to be. We're going to have to come be masik. What's going to be the maskanas hashir about this shaila? That's really what we're going to discuss, and we'll go back. We'll start with soups now and come back into the borscht. That means really borscht is a regular vegetable soup. You just eat it when it's cold. You drink it when it's cold and not when it's hot. That's really the difference, right? Right, Rabbi Black? It's a regular vegetable soup that you're drinking when it's hot, when it's cold, and not when it's hot. That is what borscht is. So we learned last week that, I'm sure you heard plenty about the Machlekes Rashba and Rosh, and we wanted to say that there are 5 Tanayim we did say that there are 5 Tanayim in when you make a adama, the way to make a adama on soup, which is water. Right now it's water. Why you make adama? Normally you make adama as something that you're eating a vegetable, so you make adama. Why on soup should you make adama? Why with 5 and more than that? If so, if you're going to make on soup adama, why on coffee or tea? You're not making adama. What's tea? You're taking tea leaves. I don't know if you know. It's regular tea leaves in that tea bag, and you're putting it into the water. That's regular adama. If you would eat those tea leaves, and you put it into the water. So I should make adama on tea. Why don't I make adama on tea? Good shaila. Borscht, you all excited. I don't know who was talking online. He was all excited. You make adama.
Shlomo Cherek.
Okay. Am I met by the Kaisel? Is that the same person? No. Yeah.
For founding member.
Right? So if so.
Baruch Hashem, yeah.
Okay. So now, so if the Daniel Khan is tiny, you can't eat tea leaves. Let me tell you something. That's more of a svara to make adama. Because we learned, let me throw you off a little bit. An onion that you can't eat raw. What do you make on it? Shahakal. When you cook an onion, you make adama. It's a fakir. That means because that's what it's made for. So tea leaves that are made for tea, so you should make hadama on tea. Coffee. What you make on coffee? Hayetz. Right? The only way to eat it is only through cooking. So that's the way you should eat it. So you should make a bayer pH on coffee. Coffee starts with a bean. It ends up now that it's not a bean, whatever, but it's grown on trees. On a bush, right? How tall is the bush? Mishan Lashana. You know, yeah, Mishan Lashana stays. Okay. Here we have a Yedei Sefer. He ties that a coffee tree or coffee bush stays. Okay. On coffee you should make a hate, and on tea you should make adama. So we have a problem now with borscht. Not a problem. I think that the Welt makes a shahakal and borscht, as far as I know. I haven't seen anyone make it adama. Normally, I see people drinking a techasu. That's what my grandparents doing. I don't remember someone walking into the fridge and eating it, but they sell it in the stores. They sell a borscht. It's very healthy.
Was there anything in the borscht? Because my
No, there's nothing in
used
the
to put
borscht. It's not
potatoes.
piece.
Used to eat borscht on a plate with potatoes. That was a course.
Like oranges, right? Zeh ba'alma. No, but you're cooking it. No, so I'm saying the Welt makes a shahakal. That's what I think. So if so, we're asking, why don't you make adama just like vegetable soup? No problem. Why should you make adama? V'oid. Now we're bothered with even more. We're bothered with coffee and tea. Why don't you make eitz on coffee and hadama on tea? So now let's. That's why it's important to go through these gedarim, and we have to have these gedarim clear to know when you make hadama on. Now let me just go back to tea and coffee, because let's just remind ourselves the machlekes Rashba and the Rosh. Let's haste. The Rashba said that it's toy b'derech olam. Vadai, derech olam, reiv derech olam by these minim are to drink it. Right? That's what you do with that's how you eat tea leaves. Now, like the Rosh, the vote was that when you're cooking something, that's when it gets the tampri. When you squeeze it out, you just make a shakam. When you're cooking the vegetable with water, you make adama. So we bother much more. Silent the Rashba and silent the Rosh, you should make either eitz or adama on coffee and tea. Let me just tell you, the Bunim Iris, who's a Friedrich Aachen, in his Tshuva Siman Tzadihei, says, Bishul mea alam shakar and tei, midin the Gemara, ro levarach olav bayrei pri adama, k'moi mei shlokes. And he writes, v'chein re'isi, halacha l'maisa mechacham echad, shabirich al tei bayrei pri adama.
Why not? It fills all 5 conditions.
Yeah,
it's dark eye.
So we're going to get to all the 5 conditions, and that's what we're going to see. So I'm starting you off already with a Bunim Iris that tells you on coffee you make a eitz. You heard it from a chacham echad, and on tea you make adama. So what are you going to say? He says that maybe, if you remember a little bit, we learned earlier last man, somewhat the beginning, that if the tree has it in a different pri, and the natia of the tree was meant for that pri, then you're not going to make a adama on the leaves. Now, what's a leaf? What's a tea? The tea leaves. Is there something else on that tree? Does anyone know?
No.
So he writes, the Bunim Iris writes, yes, that there is something else on that tree, and therefore this is not the ikka tree. The ikka tree is meant for something. Is that true? We have to look it up. What?
No, like the letter X is not available. Otherwise, he'd show you pictures of a tea leaf.
Oh, he's not here? Oh, okay, fine. So that's what he writes. Now, I don't think, as far as I'm just going to go to farmer and
botanist.
Yeah, Bakapanim. I don't know if that's true. So the shaila is, how does the minig oilam l'maisa is to make a shahakal? So we're gonna have to work on that. Okay, so now let's go.
Bunim Iris tea was still a new thing in Europe. It was imported from the Far East. They didn't know what the tea of the tree looked like. It was grown in India or wherever it came from.
At the Chaya Bas Rashi, no beer. Okay, beer. So that comes in here. We're going to come to that. That's very good. So beer, you should make a mezainis. Now, I just want to say, what's beer made out of? Barley. Barley you can eat plain without making beer from it. So it's not similar exactly. Tea leaves are meant just for tea. Barley. Yeah, okay. That's another word. I'm just saying it's not mamish comparable. Yeah. So let's the Hagdama is going to be why by vegetable soup. Many people are making Hagdama, which is the derech ha'olam, and the shaila is why, and the shaila is when. So we said last week there are 5 Tanaim, which are very important to know. First, the Mishaburi and Simon Reish Beis Sivkat Nun Beis writes, Rov achilas oisan yirakis hu ayidei shlika. Rov of this yirakis, to make Hagdama on the soup, Nai Rishon is that the way to eat the yirakis is through cooking it. Masha'in came payers that aren't normal to cook, even if you cook it, you're not going to make eitz or Hagdama or whatever we're discussing. So I need to have that the derech to eat the spree is when it's mevushal. We said the Be'alocha.
245. 245.
And Reish Beis Sif Yud writes that Mayri Shetoivim Lechel Bein Chayin Bein Mevushalim. He doesn't say that like the Mishabura, he made a little less for us. He said that it's good to eat sayetz chayet sayet mavush. Now, now, for all our cases, beets you cannot eat raw. Right?
No one eats it raw.
I don't know, what does beets look like? It's red.
No one eats raw beets.
You cook it, right? Everyone cooks. Okay,
You
fine.
cook it.
Okay, the beets you always cook. Coffee
Turnip.
you always cook.
Turnips.
No, turnip you can eat raw. Right, that's what I'm thinking.
That's the stuff you cook in soup. Nobody eats it raw.
Turnips people eat raw. It's irregular. Turnips eat
Everything is edible if you're on a desert island.
No. People have it normal. It's not like onions. Onions you only eat when it's cooked. You don't see people eating onions raw. Oh, in a salad, people eat it. But turnip, even not in a salad. Sometimes people eat it raw.
It's neshamis.
Yeah, Al Kapanim. So now. Right, but it's never eaten raw. So now.
We don't eat turnip, but we put, your wife cooks it in the soup. She puts it in the soup and you cook it. You eat turnip raw? Really?
I also eat turnips raw.
You have such a diet that you eat turnips?
It's not a part of a diet. You like it. It's a god geschmack. Yeah.
I learn new things every day.
Tastes good, yeah. It's healthy also, Mustama. No, it's diet. It's a sharpness to it. Right? So Akapan is like this. So we're saying beets, side tea leaves, side coffee beans, they're all not eaten raw. They're all eaten with cooking. So therefore it goes into the first gather. And even if you want to say some people eat it raw, but over there we have that Roiv Achilas are cooked. So therefore it does go into the first gather to make Adam. Let's go to the next gather. The next gather is in Reish Hey, Sif Cotton Yud. Mishaburi writes, V'dafka k'shesholkon k'dei lechel gamas HaRav. The Eilu Bishul HaRav Oisharon l'tzeich memeil levad lishtei zeisan ein mevarech alein el ha'shakel. V'lochein hamashke she'oise b'pesach mitapuchem v'chol ka'agavna ein mevarech alein el ha'shakel. Shabur tells us another gather that if the derech is to eat it, not the vegetable that says that I threw the vegetable out, I'm looking to throw the vegetable out, then you do not make Adama. You only make a shakel. Oh, one second. So again, so Mr. Brewer is telling us in your side that when I'm not here to eat the vegetable, I'm here to drink the water, but not to eat the vegetable, then I don't make a Adama, I make a shakel. Now Rabbi Reese is asking, why? What's the make chilek? Like the rush, bishul fakat. I cook out the vegetable, I throw the vegetable out, I have the juice from the vegetable, I should make Adama. Mishabur is telling us not like that. Mishabur said on the side that if you're throwing out the vegetable, you don't make Adama. What's the Yisai to this? What's the Pshat to this? So the teretz is that if I'm throwing out the vegetable, I'm showing that this vegetable has no chashivas to me. I'm showing that I gather want something from the vegetable, but the vegetable itself has no chashivas to me. So since the vegetable has no chashivas to me, I don't make a hadama on this vegetable. Though anything that comes out of the vegetable is only a shakel. The vegetable is not a good vegetable. It's like something that only comes out of it. Therefore, I make a shakel. So come to us.
Mamish have to throw it out physically?
Yeah, that's case by case.
You have to put it in the garbage can, Mamish, physically?
I'm throwing it out.
Just the flavoring, that's it.
Just the flavoring. I'm just trying to get flavoring out of it. I make a shakel. Come to us. I'll make a chilik. Like this, coffee, tea, you're throwing it out. Beets, it depends. Some people, many people, when they cook the beets, they make borscht and they have beet salad with it. Right? On Pesach. Many people are having beets. Sorry?
Absolutely. We have to eat the beets and the borscht both.
Right. So Rabbi Cherek is tiny. They eat the beets both. My mother does the same thing. My mother makes borscht and she makes beet salad at the same time with it. Why not? Why throw it out? Unless you don't like it. So therefore, so now here's where we made a split. Coffee and tea, we're telling you it's a very good svara to make a shackle. Why? Because I'm throwing out the coffee beans and I'm throwing out the tea leaves. So even though the Bunim said that you should make Adam, he said B'Shem Chacham Echad, that's because he wasn't going with his svara. But we have a Mishnah Berurah telling us a new svara why to make Adama. So therefore, you should go ahead and make a shackle on the coffee and the tea because I'm throwing it out.
Day two is not for the coffee pre, but it's for the juice that the chocolates that come out of it. Why should we give it an olive oil?
Well, olive oil, you're throwing out the olives.
Let's repeat the question.
But it's
Repeat the question.
for the olive oil.
That's not a chasar.
Day two, the coffee, the beans are planted for.
Okay. So Rabbi, I forgot the name again.
Pollock. Pollock.
Pollock. Rabbi Pollock is asking that by olive oil,
Shemen.
by shemen, we say you make eitz. Why? Because the olives were planted for the oil that we learned in the Gemara in the beginning, Lamed Hamed Beis in the bottom. Right? Faket. It's an upgrade. So you see that even though you're throwing out the olives, you make eitz. So how can I say this? You say, how can the Mishnah Berurah write this? You say, right? Good kasha.
The Chacham Echad must not have had that for either. He made a eights on the coffee.
True. We're trying to say why we don't go with that Chacham Echad. We know that's what the Bunim is held, that Chacham Echad and Bunim is, but we're trying to say how we get out of it. So I see someone keeps on putting online that instant coffee, you keep the coffee beans. Is that true? I have no idea.
The instant coffee, there was the grinds were thrown out already in the factory.
Called a rind, R-I-N-D, the rind that they make the coffee from, they throw it out.
Okay, so I don't know what to see. Someone's texting over here a few times that they keep the coffee.
Because manufacturing process throws it out.
Now, what do you mean I don't? Yeah, but what we have now is not the coffee bean. Our instant coffee is no shayach to the coffee bean. They cook the coffee beans, and then the water of it, they steam it or something, and that's what this is. There's no shayach to the coffee bean. What we have is complete water that got frozen. Okay, fine. So getting back to this, let's be clear. So if they're throwing it out, we have a Mishnah Berurah that's mekel. Now the problem is like this. The problem is what he's asking with olives, and I'll show you another Mishnah Berurah. There's a Mishnah Berurah in Simon Reish Daled Tifkat and Chav Beis.
We did not do that one. Reish Daled Chav Beis. Give us a second to put it up. It is 255. The honest. The honest one.
Yeah.
What's an honest?
Honest. Aleph Nun Yud Samach.
What we said was a quince.
I don't know.
Anybody remember?
Oh, you spoke about this? It came out as a quince?
Anise, that's licorice.
Right, that's if it's not right.
Licorice?
Let's say it's right. The Gemara says it lets you put it in with other things. The Gemara says you make a shem. No, but he's trying to say that you never keep the olive itself. So how could it make a?
No, it can't be licorice. There's a dam on licorice. No, there's a thing with dam on licorice.
Right, but you're putting it with something else. We're saying it never gets a chashav bracha. It stays shakal. If that thing's never eaten, you make a shakal. Right, true, because it's mazik. But if you would make a bracha, you would make eitz. Why you make eitz? I'm always throwing out the olive. Yeah, that cloud.
What? Well, first thing, what's honest? We have to know what honest is. Anybody?
I don't know. Who cares?
Somebody look it up. Rabbi Schneider, could you punch in honest there, please?
I know it's not an English word. How are you going to punch it in?
The pineapple.
Oh, maybe a pineapple.
No, that's what it's.
Ananas. Honest.
Is this what this is? So we got to look it up. We got to find out what it is.
Well, he
Anybody?
says, right, the Mishnah Berurah in Sivkot Chav Beis. Im shalak es honest, mevarach hamema bayir pi adam delachi kaima lahatil davar hamazbash.
Make a marker, please, there in the bottom left. Of base. Well, first thing we got to know is what an honest is. Somebody has to come up with what an honest is. Well, Yosef.
Yeah.
No, who cooks pineapples in water?
No, it's not a pineapple.
How are you going to find out what this is?
Ananas, it's a different thing.
How are you going to find out what this is? He says.
I think to remember it's a quince, but maybe I'm wrong.
Anise is a spice.
The spice.
It makes sense. It's a spice.
Can someone put anise into the Google Translate? It's not so complicated.
It is because it's not. It's not a Hebrew. It looks like it's a.
What is it?
Someone's telling you what it is? Anyone knows what it is? Okay.
What time?
So now.
Yes.
It's Aleph,
Yes.
Nun, Aleph, Nun, Yud, Shtrechel, Samach.
It's Latin, please. Come on, Rabbi. Somebody put it into the Google Translate. I promise you, it'll come up. Okay, I'll have to do it myself.
I
What
see
is
it as in a dictionary, it says anison is an anise, and in parentheses it writes it's a plant. That's all it says, it's a plant.
The spice. Okay, below he's saying he found it.
Says spice?
It's mashed by that. The Mishnah Berurah is mashed by that.
Hickory?
Like what Snyder said.
But not only the licorice that we call licorice. It's a seed. Okay. Okay.
The kids are nice, so let's explain. So now we have a steer in Mishnah Berurah. We said the Mishnah Berurah says that you have to end up eating this vegetable. And over here the Mishnah Berurah is telling you, you throw it out. It's only made for the davar mizbashal. It's a seed, it's a plant, it's a this. Not that you're keeping it. And still the Mishnah Berurah tells you that you're gonna make adama. Good question. What's the answer to this question? The answer is pashut. That not so pashut. That when the tree itself, the pri itself is meant just for that outcome, then you'll make adama. But if the tree is meant for both, and you throw away the vegetable, then you make a shahaka. So this is a new yesod. So what I'm telling you, try to give you a heter to make on the coffee a shahaka. Why? Because the coffee you're throwing out the seed, or the tea you're throwing out the leaves. It's not true. Because I have another Mishnah that tells me, Kla, when I throw something out, I still make it adama. And the chiluk has to be, because over here it's a plant that's lahedya made for this hatam davar mizbashal. That's exactly tea. So we're still stuck with tea. So now, but let's get back to like this. By borscht, since it's made for both, you have to ask. The guy goes and serves you borscht. He said, "Shulix, do you eat beet salad or not? You eat it right now. The way we're standing now, don't leave yet. You make adama. You don't eat it, you make a shackle. You hear what's going on?
Very schwer.
Not schwer yet. It's. I mean, we're going slowly. Again, now we're holding by the second chiluk. The second chiluk, we thought it was going to help us out for coffee and tea. It did not help us out at all. Because we had another Mishnah. Again, let me just say over the second chiluk. The second chiluk was that the only time you'll make hadama was only if you're going to eat the food itself. Besides drinking the soup, drinking the drink, you're going to eat the food itself. So therefore, borscht, if you eat beet salad, you make hadama. Even though now you're drinking the borscht, you're not eating the beet salad, but since you're keeping the pri, you make hadama. If you don't eat beet salad, you're going to make a shackle. We thought that would help us out for tea and coffee while we make a shackle because we throw out the beets. We're telling you it doesn't resolve the question. Because by coffee and tea, that's what it's planted for, and therefore everyone agrees that you make a shackle. And that answers Rabbi Palak also that, everyone agrees you'll make a hadama and eitz. And so too, by your Shem and Zayis, that's what it's planted for. So I don't care if you throw it out or not. Yeah, a fruit shake. So over there it's like because you don't cook it. Here we're going that you cook it. So we have the rush. It says when you cook the
raw. Smoothie is raw.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to it. That's we're gonna get to. Okay, 1 second. So now, Bekitza, so the Vaila in these Gedarim, we're standing that Levaya, you should make a hadama and a eitz on coffee and tea, and on borscht it'll depend.
I understand why it should depend. Because a person wants to make beet salad, he wants beet salad, and he wants
borscht.
A borscht drink. So what difference does it make in what he does with the beets later on? He changed his mind. One salad, this is one salad.
He wants to know why the liquid is still married to the salad. That's what he wants
Right.
to know.
Yeah, when did they separate this chasana, the liquid and the salad? The liquid right now, let's get me on what's going to be later. He's throwing out the salads, not throwing out the vegetables. Who cares? Very good question. Do we have an answer for such a question?
Till the David talks about this, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the David, it's others that discuss the Shaila. Now, who cares what's going to happen with this
Yarek.
with this yarek? Now,
Which makes
this-
it very subjective also.
yeah,
Depends on what this Yidden that throws the Yarek out, it doesn't throw the Yarek out.
that's what we just
And
said.
he keeps it on
We
the
just said
counter.
You have to ask Bosch. You have to ask the lady that's cooking. And not only that, today you're buying Bosch in the store. You have to run to the Geschäft in the Chvashvi and find out. That's what the Mishabur says. Call a man and Shavit. It's still someone alive.
The
over there.
Rabbi Barnett said beet salad, but what if there's no beet salad?
Right. If someone's not going to, and does it depend on you or depends on someone eats it? The guy that cooked it eats it. It depends on you, the drinker. Who does it depend on? If you don't like beet salad, but you only like Bosch, does it depend on you or depends on someone else? How
Right.
weit are we going?
Raiva Olam.
Raiva Island? You don't see such
I
a
don't
guy.
say Mishabur.
No, he's talking about something else. Not
Why
like
is it the
this guy.
same? Why is it the same side?
He doesn't say it here.
I understand, but what Charit should be the same
It says "V'davke k'shesholkon k'dei lechel gamas HaRav." You cooked it
for
in order
yourself.
to- for yourself. Yeah, the person, each person by himself. So it comes out. It's a pella. What's going to happen over here by a Bosch? We're going to be stuck. If we're going to say to make Adama, you're going to be in hot water because beets are cut up and included with. I don't think so. There's such a thing as beet salad. It's not cut up and included in the liquid. You're not drinking beets in the liquid. You're drinking the beet salad. The Bosch is without any beets. You don't have any pieces in it. It's a drink. Okay. So that's why we're still stuck. So now let's move on a little bit and we're going to hopefully come back to that. We have another, so those were divided 2 Yisaitis. Now we have a third Yisait. The halacha says, in Reish Beis, Sif Yud, the Maschal Al. Want to come to that? Reish Beis, Sif Yud, the Maschal Al.
The Bir Lacha on 245. 245. You talking about the Bir Lacha there once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Page
Bottom of 245.
Sif Yud, the Maschal Al.
Bottom of 245. What's coming in the second? You want the tapuchim?
Oh, here you go. Yeah.
You want the tapuchim?
Do we? No, it says like this.
Okay.
A little further. Well, the Fiza Pashut. The Almei Shrias.
The tapuchim, right?
Further down. Yeah, by Tapuchim, yeah.
The tapuchim at the end. It's at the end.
Right, it's at the next page, right?
It's on 247. Everybody, 247. Last 7 lines from the bottom. Fiza Pashut.
Yeah.
There you go. It's yellow. There we go.
He's reading the Mishabur. We're looking for the
No,
Bir
Bir Lacha,
Halacha.
in the Bir Lacha.
I
Bir
can't see it.
Lacha, bottom right. Oh, there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's lying there. Well, the Fiza Pashut. The Almei Shrias Tapuchim. Almei Shrias Tapuchim. Shakar and Apple Kvaz. Ein levorech alaya lekula am rak shak. Why? Da tapuchim gufa ein derech achilason kshein shuyin. The miskalkelin aydei zeh umevorchen aleim shakelim amein leodef man. Here we see again. The juice is married to the pre. The pre normally the way you eat it, if you would cook it, is only if it becomes niskalkel. So too the juice that comes out of it stays a shakel. Now, what does that mean? That means that the fruit or the vegetable, when it gets cooked, it gets nimuach. So since it gets nimuach, the halacha is you make a shakel. So now, if your split peas soup always gets or is going to get cooked till it becomes nimuach, I make a shakel. Okay? So now the Ben Ish Chai says the merek is bashal in peish and nimucha b'chas a shakel.
Pea soup.
Yeah. Now the question is, why should you make a shakel? Why are you making a shakel when it gets nimuach? L'chayef aket. Have the fruit in there, have the vegetable in there, mamish. When the vegetable is whole, I won't make a shakel. But when the vegetable's in it, mamish, nimuach in it, you'll make a shakel. What's the svar to that?
The pre is downgraded.
Right. The teretz is that the pre itself got downgraded. Since if I eat the pre itself, the pre became a shackle and lost its tzura of Adama. So now the juice that comes out of it is also that tzura.
Why talk is a pre? Why is it necessarily downgraded? Why can't you eat pureed Paris and consider it to be Paris? If you ask somebody what you
That
eat,
we're gonna talk about
Next
next
week.
week, Mitchell.
Yeah,
Risik
Risik.
Pez that you make Adam.
Risuk, yeah.
Risik you make Adam. So therefore, since by Risik you make Adama, the pre itself became Adama. So now the juice that came out of it, shackle, sorry. So now the juice that came out of it is right the shackle. Yeah? That's what this Mishnah Berurah says. So now, so it comes out that if within itself, so this is only in the gay vegetable soup, that it becomes nimuach. There's some vegetables that become nimuach. Since those vegetables become nimuach, I will go ahead and make on the vegetable shahako, so the juice that comes out of it, the soup that was cooked from this type of vegetable, would also become a shahako. Split pea soup, l'chayah should become a shahako. Split peas, they dissolve in the water, they disintegrate in the water, and therefore, you should l'chayah make a shahako. Good? That is the third tonight. Now, there's another rule.
So what's the story with baked apples, though? Are you saying when he says this apple thing, is he talking about baked apples or cooked apples like we have today? I mean, many people buy baked apples, cooked apples, they even sell them in cans. I mean, is that going to be downgraded too? Because you can eat an apple without it?
I don't think that baked apples becomes nimuach, does it?
It comes soft.
I know, but is it downgraded? Is that considered a downgrade because you cooked it now and it's mostly eaten raw? Most people eat apples raw, but many people eat it cooked. Is that a downgrade or not?
Build it up. Right?
No. It's eaten both. Apples are eaten side cooked and side raw.
So it's not a downgrade. You're saying it's
not
an
a down,
equal.
right?
That's what Mishnah Berurah said that.
Why? What was it?
Aimed out on the choice and the lion apples.
No, we're not talking about. No. We're talking about you eating the apple over there itself. We're talking about a baked apple.
The apples.
So it's dark and lechel bein chay and bein mevushalim. So you make it's bracha. The Mishnah Berurah said.
Okay. So you're saying that a baked apple is not downgraded, even though it's most people
No,
eat
because
raw.
Right, the derech is to eat both. Samela, it stays with the eights. Okay, then we're going to wait for Mitchell next week more when we come to those gedalim. Now, there's another gather that we saw in the Mishnah Berurah in Sivkat Nid Gimel, in Reish Beis, in Reish Hay. HaYirokis noisin tam ba'merek v'habasa noisin tam b'merek. V'tam habasa chashuv yosef. HILCHOS. When I have vegetables in a chicken soup, so over there, what's the ikka? The chicken, or I have vegetables in a meat soup. What's the ikka? The meat. So therefore, even though I have vegetables in there, and I'm cooking the vegetables, and I'm eating the vegetables,
264. Yeah.
I would make a shahakal. That's the fourth gather of when you don't make adama. So even though I have vegetables in it, and a lot of times you could have that your wife puts together. You have that it's a chicken soup. It's a chicken soup, but you have vegetables in there. And let's say she'll grind the vegetables in it. So, no, I'm saying so. Because I don't want to talk about when you have a whole vegetable and you eat the vegetable. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, but I'm just
Friday night. You can put the turnip into the vegetable soup and serve it that way too, right? Why not? Or a carrot.
Okay,
Carrots, very, very common.
Fine. People eat carrots, celery.
Don't eat carrots in chicken soup about
it. Yeah, everything. So now he's telling us, Dr. Mishnah Berurah, since basa or chicken is more chashiv, it doesn't get a hadam. Okay, that's a very glad to swallow, right? Because I have a taruvis here. What's the ikka? What's the tafel? The ikka is the chicken, so the taste of it is the chicken. I call it chicken soup. I don't call it vegetable soup. So mela, I make a shak now. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah inside again, and then
which one?
Reish Hay Sivkat Yud Gimel.
The same page, 265.
This is what you asked me, Mamish Libasayf, right? Well, when I came in, this
is
yeah. So let's see this Mishnah Berurah. Sivkat Yud Gimel Ima Basa. The HaYirokis Noisnin Tam Ba'Amerek. The vegetables are giving a taste to the soup. They're both giving. If your wife wouldn't put in vegetables, it would taste a little different. They're both giving taste. The tama basur chashav yosef. What's more chashuv? The time of basa. Hilchach hu ikr. Therefore, that's the ikr. Valkein. Now he says a chiddush. Afilu oichel hamerek levad. Mevorach shehakol. Even though you're not eating the basa, you're eating the soup itself. You make a shehakol.
It's a reverse shlakos. In other words, instead of becoming a dama through the yerek, it becomes a shackle through the basar.
Yeah, very good. Mikamakayim.
Where does it say that? Where does it say? What's the car for that in the Rishonim?
He's saying that's the ikka. When the divided,
Are you saying ikr and tuffle?
Yeah, this is the ikka.
No, but
this is the time they have.
Is not ikr and tuffle. Shlakos is a din of shlakos.
No, it's a shlakos. But what do I have in the soup? This soup I have now mixed made shlakos with made chicken.
No, so it's a tushtal. He's making a dugma, just like shlakos turns water into an adama. It's a shlakos and basar turns it into a shackle.
Right now I have both.
That's a svara.
Yeah,
no,
he's saying the same way.
Where did Rishonim say that the basar is gavar? Where is that source?
No. He didn't say a basar gavar. He said
it does. That's a
says. That's next one.
Basar var shackle.
Right. No, the tam habasar hu chashuv yosa hilkach hu ikr.
Right. But the Mechaber doesn't say that. What he says is bishlam basar var shackle. In the Mechaber and base.
Yeah, I can't see it on the page. Okay, fine.
That's what I asked before, that it says chashuv and not chazak. I found that a strange usage. Because it just because it's there, whether or not the flavor overrides it, it sounds like the Mishnah Berurah is saying that it becomes shahakol.
I'm not happy in the shana.
Here's how the Mechaber says in bishlam and basar mivarach of shahakol.
Yes.
Mechaber is a problem. He's trying to tell you that normally you think it's an adama, but the basar and the yerek, the basar is goiver over the yerek, correct?
Right. That means, one second, let me explain. That means when you're drinking,
of course the water, but the basar makes the water into a shackle, even though the yerek makes it into an adama.
Right.
So it means that basar is stronger than yerek.
Right.
That's not what he says. He says chashuv
that?
yerek.
Well, what's it called? Chicken soup or vegetable soup? Every Friday night, you have just enough vegetables.
So it's a svara. Iker tuffle.
He says that very clear. Hilchach hu ikr. Even though you're not eating any basar.
But so why does the Magen Avraham say that?
I'm reading you the Mishnah Berurah.
But the Magen Avraham, the Taz in Hey doesn't say ikr and tuffle. It says tam of the basar.
That's ikr v'tafel. That's the same words as ikr v'tafel. Right. When you have two, I have my soup, two tastes, because it's all taste here. It's water with taste. That's all it is. It's all taste. So I have to know what's the ikr taste. I'm telling you, the ikr taste is
so the reason why in shlakos, if it's an adam of the water, is because the yerek is ikr. That's the pshat. No,
because it has now a taste of BRACHOS. No, but it has a taste of BRACHOS. So this yerek
on ikr
tuffle.
So, but now
not the basar, the time of the basar.
What I understand, when you're talking about chicken soup, which was made with basar, that's it in a vikr. Not shlakos.
Now I'm understanding your question. You're asking like this. I think you're asking. Yeah. You're asking that I have 97% of water every soup, and I have 70% of water and 30% of vegetable. Why am I making? What's the tzad to make hadama if I have much more water? Is that your question?
Yeah.
So on that
if you're introducing ikr and tuffle to these sites,
right?
That should be ikr.
Because this water now became a chelik of
became a dama.
Became a
yerek.
It became a yerek.
So it's 100% yerek now.
Right. So now I look at a kilo, 100% yerek. Ikr v'tuffle, it doesn't make a difference. But what I'm drinking now is yerek. I'm drinking a yerek.
A liquid yerek.
Liquid yerek. So you're asking, if so, how did the chicken make it more shahakal than the water itself? The water, the Iraqis went and overpowered it. So why by chicken?
Well, how did the chicken turn it back from an adama into a shahakal? There it is. What?
The tuffle
again.
That it becomes back again because
the chicken is the ikr over the vegetable.
Right.
The water is a vegetable. It's an ikr and tuffle.
Whatever the chicken and the vegetable are. So if the chicken is the ikr over the vegetable, the male is
wrong here.
Only cook the vegetable in the water, then it's hadama. We have to cook both the meat and
So you having a good time here? But I'm just trying to point out to the Ayla, and this is what the Rav is saying. I'm being Targum. There's two sugis here. There's shlakos and there's ikr and tuffle. and you have to go back and forth between the two sugyas. The Mechaber,
I'm still alive,
can
but
tell
sure,
what
yeah,
you're saying,
but-
but okay.
Rabbi Chapin knows how to explain things good, yeah?
Yes, I'll tell you on Zoom what he's saying. That's what I was saying. It's not shlokos. It's similar to shlokos. No, it's not shlokos. The puppet doesn't say Maya the Basar Kabasar. It doesn't say that.
He doesn't even
He
say
says
it.
Maya the Kasota. That's a Xersa custom. They're a puppet made up. Oh, that's Iker and Tafel. There's no din of shlokos and Basar. It becomes it. It becomes it.
If I had chicken, it happens to remain shahako. The fact that it's not a different brother.
No, I can't. I said normally I like that Svarkas alumnus, but it can't be because the language that's being used here is Iker v'Tafel. Not that the Basar is a din of shlokos. So what do we need Iker and Tafel for with shlokos? Okay, you want to straighten this out here, please? Because we're having a machlekes here. In the Zoom.
Can you explain me the machlekes? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think-
Everybody agrees. I'm going to repeat this again. Everybody agrees that when you cook something and it fills 5 to 9, the water is a yerek. Everybody agrees on that.
Yeah, the word becomes
now,
Adam.
Now, 2 scenarios.
Yeah, one second. Okay, fine.
5 conditions. 5 conditions.
Fine.
Now, maybe 6 conditions. Fine.
Fine.
Now you have chickens. Now you have a piece of chicken. There's 2 scenarios. A piece of chicken without a yerek and a piece of chicken with a yerek. A piece of chicken without a yerek, there's no problem, right? Because there's no reason it should be in a dama. So it's blind to shahako, right? Because the water is the shahako, the chicken is the shahako, you can do whatever you raise with. Now you cooked it with a turnip and a piece of chicken. Good. What is the halacha on this water? On one hand, ask the Mishnah Berurah and Pri Megadim, it should be a dama because you cooked it with a turnip. On the other hand, it should be a shahako because
You cooked it with
basar.
So what's
Hold on a
true?
second. Cooking with basar. The reason cooking with basar is because the water. One second. The water becomes basar, or you don't have to because it's not shackle. Everything is a shackle here. Water is a shackle,
So-
and there's no din shlokas. To make it taste, it should get. No, the water buys the water. What's the nafkamina?
No, you have
had
to
both. The nafkamina, you cooked it with both. Says the Mishnah Berurah, cooking it with both. I would think the water becomes an adama kamash because it's a condition. Kamash Malon, no. Now fill in that Kamash Malon. What happens?
Kamash Malon is what is the you know what, we could talk about everything. Anything. You're cooking 2 things together. You're cooking a vegetable along with a mezainis, whatever. You're cooking a vegetable along with a pri. So the vegetable is full of adama. The pri is full of eggs. Now I cooked it together. What bracha do I make? Whichever is there. So why over here do you have much harder to hear that? Here I'm cooking, make believe I cook, forget this. Let's say I have a vegetable soup I cook completely. Tomorrow I cook a chicken soup. Now I put them together in one pot. What bracha do I make? Whichever's the ikka. Right? So why should this be any different? Here I'm gathered cooking it together. What's the ikka? Claw, the chicken of the soup. Because it's called chicken soup. It gives a stronger time. You're making it more lumdish than it is.
So what did the pop tell me a chiddush?
It doesn't say, the Mishnah Berurah doesn't say that.
The papa, all the other shaylim are nishtazai.
Right.
There's no ikar and tafel in shlokas. Oh, what do you need a papa for? The rose is correct. Everything is ikar and tafel according to you.
No, because over there, by shlokas is a bigger chiddush. By shlokas, what's happening is the pri is not around. I just have a drink. It's mechtes to make adama. There's nothing here.
Why not?
It's just green juice.
The tam. You cooked it with a vegetable.
That's the chiddush of shlokas. The tam of a pri gets the same bracha as the pri. Normally you say tam, eat the pri, you make adama. You're not eating the pri, you're eating the tam that comes out of the pri, make a shahakal. So that's the chiddush, that the tam pri gets the same bracha also.
Okay, back to the chicken.
Okay, so now, what? Rabbi Snyder?
But the language is it, the Mishnah Berurah says, who chashuv yoser, doesn't say chazak yoter. It's just a strange language, just by the chefs of it being chicken turns into a shahakol.
Well, let me tell you something. By Ikar v'Tafel, we didn't do that sugya, but chashuv plays a real role. What's chashuv plays a role.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, it plays a role for ikka v'tafel. What's the ikka in this soup? The ikka is the chicken, because that gives the time. One second, okay. But I think you had shred at the end of the Mishabru. I think that's where you're coming with. So let's go back. Let's go back.
Go back the other way.
Right. Let's go back to Mishabru. We have to finish.
Back to you to what is it? Your Gimel? What is
yeah,
it?
we need Gimel.
Your Gimel. Back to your Gimel, please. 265. We put the thing back on. Okay, so the Rav should start.
Okay. So he says, that's a chicken soup you're making a shackle, even though you have a lot of vegetables in there. So even if you eat the soup, you make a shackle. That's what we just said. Now, when we come if you're eating the vegetable along with the soup, you only make a dama.
So ignore the chicken.
You ignore the chicken soup.
What happened to the chicken?
Yeah, 1 second. What happened
to the chicken?
So what happened over here? If you're eating if you're eating chicken soup
and the carrots,
and there's a carrot, and you're eating the carrot, you just make a dama on this chicken soup, and that's it.
Ignore the chicken floating there.
And that's what, when I came in, I think that's what Shlomo was asking. Now, what happened over here? What happened with the bracha shakel and the merk? The carrots.
No, what happened with the chashivs and the chicken?
Right, bracha the merk. Bracha the merk was a shakel.
Everybody's screaming at me that it's an ikker.
But by not eating the chicken, you're ignoring it. You're knocking out his tashivas.
People eating the same soup, one makes a dama.
Right, same chicken soup. One guy's making a dama, one guy's making shakel. What's the pshat? So Rabbi Black is saying very good, and that's the part of the pshat. When I eat the soup itself, so then I'm dealing with two tamim, the tam of basa and the tam of vegetables. So what's stronger? The tam of basa, the tam of the chicken. You make a shakel. Now I went into a different gather. What am I doing? I'm eating this chicken soup with the vegetable. That means what do I want? I want the vegetable itself. That's much stronger than tam. That's vegetable. When you're eating a vegetable, so then you go ahead and you make a bracha on the vegetable. Why should I deal with tam?
In other words, it's not possible to put a vegetable in your mouth without making a dama. That's what the Rav's saying?
Right.
Why?
No.
Why can't they make a
No,
shakel?
if I would have
The chicken.
Oh, so let me tell you like this. If I have chicken and vegetable in the soup, chicken, so I'm eating the chicken along with the vegetable, then I don't make a shakel. Because the chicken is more chashav than the vegetable.
But why is the tam the same tam
Tam
kicker?
is not, tam's a chiddush. That you make the same bracha as the thing. It doesn't make a difference. But if you're eating it with the vegetables, you want to have the taste of the vegetable. You want to have the vegetable in it. So now that you want to have the, so let me explain to you. I'm not saying Allah L'mas yet. So since you're eating it with the vegetable, so therefore you're going to make a bracha on the vegetable, not the soup. Now this is not negate us. Because I think like you're trying to say, when I go ahead and eat vegetable soup, I'm eating the vegetable soup because I want the vegetable soup. I'm sorry. When I go ahead and eat chicken soup, I want the chicken soup. I'm glad to have a carrot in there. You don't care if your wife doesn't put a carrot, she doesn't put a carrot. Okay, you'll have a carrot. So that's much different. The Mishabru is talking about when you're eating chicken soup and you're eating every bite, you're eating a carrot with it. So Pshat is, so he's telling you that even though it's called chicken soup, but since you're eating a carrot with it, so now that's part of the chicken soup. So mainly you're going to make adama because the carrot is more chashuv than the soup. But our chicken soups, most people are not eating it for the carrot. Your tachlis is to have chicken soup. Your wife put the carrot sometimes. She doesn't. When she doesn't give you a carrot, should I still what was the carrot? No. She gave you chicken soup for the night. Sometimes she gives you carrot, sometimes she doesn't. You want it for a crunch. Your matara is not. Yeah, but the Mishabur says you only make adama. That's the problem. No, the Mishabur says you only make one. Oh, okay.
You want to make two brachos?
Yeah, he's saying
because Ikram Tumble doesn't allow you to make two brachos. Why not? No, you know who says you're eating chicken soup? On the menu it says chicken soup. It does not say chicken plus vegetables in the soup. It doesn't say that.
No, but he's asking good. When you have croutons in the soup, you only make one bracha?
Yes.
Yes? Which one?
Croutons in the soup?
Yeah.
We discussed this great length. Yeah.
Right. So over there, the
don't eat croutons.
The belt makes two brachas, right? So what's the big deal? Rabbi Lo is asking, what's the big deal? Make two brachas on the chicken.
In this room.
Make it.
1 second. The psak halach is for sure. When you eat soup and croutons, you're making them Zionist on the croutons.
your child that has mostly croutons and a little bit soup. Most of us have, or some adults. I don't mean, yeah.
No, most of
Adults
us
ask like a child.
a sprinkle of croutons.
The sprinkle of croutons, you make 2 brachos.
Everybody here has been dodging on Friday night to make
Don't
the
do
bracha
that.
on the croutons.
Then
The
you-
Zionist, yes.
Silence.
Uh-huh. You make knedlach in the soup. If the psaklach 100% is you have to eat the mezainis. You make mezainis in the knedel first. Teichasuda.
Oh, tachasud, you don't make a bracha.
Teichasuda. So Friday night.
Most
Well,
people are doing this
teichasuda.
Friday night. That's why people don't discuss this so much.
Right. Okay.
You're always having some vegetable as well.
That's what the Mishabur is talking about. The Mishabur is not talking about our chicken soup that your wife makes and it's just for chicken. God, a chicken soup, God, you have a vegetable in there. Mishabur is talking about that you're doing it to eat the vegetables also. So if that's it, that means let's say your wife every night gives you salad. She know or whatever she needs.
It's called meat stew. It's meat stew. Would you have both basar, potatoes,
That means
and
let's say you're
vegetables?
trying to get there's an eating of the salad of it, of the carrot, of the celery, then that's what the Mishabur is talking about. When we eat chicken soup, we do not have in mind to eat a carrot. That's not our matar. You might have a carrot, you might like the carrot. That's not your matar. So it's pashut that you still
That's a
make
shackle.
Yeah, nobody still
So
make
there's
shackle.
no. So you don't make a badam on the carrot.
No, that's another shmoozer. Below is telling you would make a dama. We're going to get to it in Nick of the Tafel. There's a sad to say you don't even make a dama. Pashas you should make a dama because it's a big chaticha for itself. It's stand out for itself. There's a tzad, some hold not because since it's cooked together and you really don't care about it, that's another shmooze that we're not getting into that now. That's much more ikka v'tafel. But okay, now we have to get back to what we were discussing. This is exactly the thing that Mishmur brought it down. Let's get back to our coffee. So we're stuck. L'chayra, our coffee is meant for it, as all the trying that we said about. So why are we making a shahakal on coffee?
No, that we didn't do the last line. Shuldik, from Godim. You didn't do the last line. With that.
Oh,
The
you still want to continue?
the Yera Gufa.
The vegetable itself never comes to the bus, and that's what Below is trying to say. When you're eating the vegetable itself, then you'll make Adam.
Just the vegetable.
Just a vegetable. Yeah. Fine. So now let's get back. This is important because next week we have to go weiter. So why are we making shakal? So who says we make shakal? Maybe you don't. Maybe it's a tayus. So I skipped out the fifth tonight, which is very important, which is that since you do it ayidei shtia, is therefore you make a shakal. You drink it. So if you would have coffee in a spoon, in a bowl, and you eat it like that, or tea, maybe on a chanami. But since what do? We drink it, so therefore you make a shakal. Now, who's that coming from? That's the guy. The guy is brought down in the Mishabur Simon Reish Beis Sifkat and Lamed Dalet. Good eye to see.
Give it to you in a second. Reish Beis Lamed Daled is page 241. 241. This is we're calling it the liquid gra, right?
That's going to be the answer for Barshtosa.
Where exactly is this going? It's on the beer gra here?
No, I'm not talking about the guy. I'm talking about the Mishabur brings it down in Reish Beis.
No, but where
It's
is
on
it?
Lamed
What's the Makar for this going?
Oh, Taisvis. Taisvis on the Flamet Ches. The third teretz said that the reason why we make a shakal on beer, it should be mezainis, because it's a shtir. So not everyone brings this. Lav Davka's brought the halacha, but the guy brought the halacha, and the Mishabur quotes it. So we have always what to be samech on shakal. But let me tell you a little more of a knetch. If you go ahead now,
Lamed Daled, 241. We're going to Rav carried it out.
Barakrom and Yashva, there's a steer. We're not getting into that now. The halacha shemasaknin l'shtia hareyu kemashkel b'chas shakal. Since you made it for shtia, you make a shakal. You made it like for shtia.
So that's
coffee
borscht?
is meant for shtia.
That's borscht?
So now, borscht, we have a problem because Mishabur himself told us by borscht to make adama.
Yeah, because
So-
borscht you drink in a soup, you put in a soup bowl.
Oh, so we'll say that some borscht people used to eat with a spoon.
I put
But when-
sour cream in my borscht, so I make it into a soup.
And some
Okay.
people drink it out of a glass.
Here's some
Okay,
cooked.
so
What's
that's
the
what we're
next
making
one?
after minute. So now,
Smoothies are raw.
let me tell you another svara
Different
why
sugar,
by coffee
different
and tea
sugar.
could be
The
different.
whole thing is cooked.
What is coffee? Is coffee water or with a coloring, or coffee is coffee? What does that mean? It means,
Cheap instant coffee is water.
right, that means Avada the Chashivas is a coffee. But do I look at it? Could coffee be called Chamar Medina? Water can never be called Chamar Medina. Even if you have the fanciest bottle of water and you spend $50 in this bottle, you do not, it's never called Chamar Medina, right? You can't get Mishloach Monas water. Water B'chetz doesn't have Chashivas. What's coffee? Does coffee have a Chashivas to it? I know you buy it in the store for a lot of money, but that doesn't call Chashivas. Because you buy water today, it's very expensive also, right? So does that have a Chashivas to it or not? So there's a tzad to say that coffee is better than water, it just has a little bit taste of it. Therefore, you'll make a shahakal no matter what. But we don't have to come on to that. We have this Vilnagayan that the Bishop brings down, and that's what we're signing on. You want to know if the mice
Against the Prima Godim, you mean?
yeah, if you're eating an apple,
The Pramirs.
right? If you're
Pram is
eating
not brought in the halacha.
no, if you're eating an apple and you made eights and then you have a coffee in front of you, should you make eights or no? Maybe we don't go with the guy and it's HBrachos.
You shouldn't make a shackle, you mean?
You shouldn't make a shackle because I have eights. No. Many
And if you have
places
coffee, if you have
that
coffee
you
and
should
cake,
have a shackle first because if not, you're going into HBrachos.
from the rum.
Yeah. HBrachos because maybe it's eights. Most we gave you 4 Tanaim, all 4 Tanaim. This made eights. We threw you off the left turn over here with a guy in, and not everyone brings the guy in. So therefore, if you're eating, normally it's not so schwierig to eat an apple with coffee, but let's say you did. Right? You normally eat a piece of cake with coffee. Otherwise, to eat an apple with coffee is not so schwierig. So therefore, we'll go ahead and try to make the shahakal first, rather than making the apple first. A gesunde Woche.
Wow. Okay.